After nearly a decade and a half serving the community in Ennis, O'Brien's Bagel Factory has announced it will close its doors this weekend. In a heartfelt message shared online, they spoke about the difficult decision to step away, and their final day of trading will be this Saturday, marking the end of an era for a much-loved local spot. And joining us now to tell us more about it and to reflect on their journey over the last 14 years is Orla Lillis of O'Brien's Bagel Factory. Orla, thank you so much for coming in this morning.
Hi Alan, thank you for having me.
It must be quite an emotional time when one is running a business for any amount of time, never mind 14 years. You put a lot of heart and soul and I guess finances and every blood, sweat and tears into it. What is behind the decision to step away from the business, and how difficult was that decision?
It was a difficult decision. It's been months coming, I suppose. The main reason, really, it's a myriad of reasons, but the main reason would be, I suppose, that Frank isn't here anymore. And it's hard. It's hard running a business. The costs are continually going up. But we've had a great time. We've had a great time there. We always had the crack. We didn't think we'd last 2 years, so to get this far was
You're
brilliant.
in bonus territory.
Yeah, it really was. And we've made some lovely friends there, and we've had lovely customers. We were so lucky, really, with the customers coming in. We've had customers coming in from day one, and we went in there. We hadn't a clue what we were doing. And to be here nearly 14 years. And I suppose if Frank was here, we wouldn't be closing, really.
And Orla, I'm sure your many loyal customers will be aware of who Frank is and was, but for those who aren't, can you just tell us a little bit about him?
Well, Frank was my husband, and we started it together. We hadn't a clue, really. But we found our own niches, I suppose, in the coffee shop. He stuck with the coffee, and he loved the chat, he loved the people, and I think that was what it was, that I suppose. And now we spent half our time arguing in there too. We were very different in our ways. And
it was it Jim and Mary from Father Ted?
The customers would probably tell you, because I'd say they heard us half the time, because we're so different in our ways and everything. But it worked, and I don't know why.
I've an image of all your nosier customers just purely coming in for their coffee and bagel or whatever with their hand cupped to their ear. Ooh, what gossip
what's
we might
going
get
on
this
now?
morning?
But it was the usual. It was always the same, But our regular customers used to laugh. They knew us. They knew that was just our way. And look, we'd go home and there'd be arguments at home too. The kids would tell you the kids were reared in the shop, really too. They've grown up there, and look, sure, it was grand and it was great and it made us a living. But now I suppose the costs, everything is just going up and up. And it's hard, and I'm older and my body is complaining, and we just decided maybe to call a halt to it. But I'm sad to be going.
Much harder to put all your time and energy into a business like that, Orla. I'd imagine when you lose your other half, you need the similar levels of commitment and energy from them in order to make it a success. Yeah. I would be a very kind of a panicky person. Frank was calm and didn't do panic and didn't do worry, and that was grand for me. But now I'm panicking, I'm worrying about things. If you can't pay the bills or you don't have enough money for something, Frank was always, it'll sort itself out, it'll be grand. The old adage, a problem shared is a problem halved.
Yeah, really, yeah. And so I suppose that's the main reason. Very sad to be going. It'll be hard. But look, so people are saying when one door closes, another opens. So hopefully something will turn up, and because I'd still like to work for a few days a week here, somewhere. But
I hope you don't mind me asking, but how long have you been without Frank, and has that period of trying to keep the Bagel Factory going been extremely difficult? I'm thinking to put the point of view of you're now down your other half, but also you're grieving for them as well, and maybe work helped with that. You could pour your energies into your work.
Yeah, it definitely. He died in September, and it definitely. I think back now, and I think all I wanted was to get back to work, because I didn't want time to think about it. I suppose, really. And it's been hard, but in a way too, all the customers have been so lovely, and you can talk about him and you can laugh at the things he used to say and do, and I suppose, and that helped. But But it is hard him not being there. It's strange because he had his own he did certain things, I did certain things, and now I have to do it all. And you're like, oh, and at times you'd be kind of talking away to him in your head and going, oh, what'll I do now, But yeah, look, we had a great time.
It must be, it's going to be, and I'm sure it is and has been difficult for your loyal customers since the news broke. And, it was a place where you and Frank clearly you loved meeting people and chatting, and you've probably made some good friends through the business that... is there a sadness there that maybe with some of them may be more difficult to keep those connections going once the doors close? Or?
Yeah, because, they've been such a part of our lives and our children's lives, and that's what I feel. Not that I feel sorry, I'm sad that the people who've been coming in every day, I would have loved somebody to come in and take over the business so they could still go in there. Like, it's a lovely spot, it's situated when the sun shines outside, it's just beautiful. But for them, that they could have still gone in. They could have still had their routine, because we have some people come in every day and have come in every day. And, you'll miss them and you'll miss their families. And we have kids that have grown up in there, they nearly feel like my own kids, some of them, and especially the students as well. Students were such a part of O'Brien's, and they came in at the start, and now you see them and they have their own families, and they come in, and say a group of the students, if they're all home for Easter or Christmas, or they come in and you're like, oh, and what do you do now? It's lovely to see them. And from that end, it is sad. It is sad, and I'm sorry to be going. But I think sometimes... You have
to look after yourself, don't you?
Yeah, my body is complaining, my knee and my hip, and, and just, look, everything. It's just came to a decision. A few things, a lot was happening at Christmas. Things were going wrong. It's great when everything works out and when things are going smoothly, but things were going wrong at Christmas. Nothing majorly wrong, but I think that there was just a snowball effect of things, and one day I just went, right, no, that's it. So
well, look, you can't ignore the calls from your body for too long, lest things get worse. It's Saturday is the last day. What can customers expect if they come in for one last visit for what I'm sure will be an emotional day for all of you?
Yeah, well, the kids are all going to be home. They'll all be in, and we'll be there, and I suppose it'll be just like every other day. There'll be the chats and there'll be the tea and the laughs, and hopefully there'll be no tears. But look,
if there is, it'll be okay.
Well, anyway, look, we'll just hope to have a nice day, and and it's nice that the kids will be there. They wanted to be there to, I suppose, say goodbye to people too, So, that'll be it.
You're clearly planning for life post O'Brien's Bagel Factory, though. You mentioned that ailments aside, you want to continue working to some degree. Have you any other plans?
Not at the moment, no. I'm going to take a bit of time off. I've had no more than 3-4 days off since COVID together, so I'm going to take a bit of time off. I'll probably be bored by the end of the first week, but, I want to be able to go spend time with my mother and just, I suppose, relax a bit, read a few books. I'm always threatening to read a few books, and that's it. But I'll be back in Ennis. I'd miss Ennis, so I kind of planning on coming in, and I'd miss the people. We've the girls in the snack shack and Damien in the snack shack, we'd be over and back all the time and chatting away, and they've been very good to us, since Frank died. They were always very good to us. We could be over there, can we borrow this, can we borrow that, and the guys in Easton's as well, all the people around us.
You'll still be around.
Yeah, we'll call in and say hello, and we'll still be here.
Well, you'll always get a great welcome, and look, it's going to be a sad day for those who frequented O'Brien's Bagel Factory, but I'm sure they all very much understand the decision behind the closure. Enjoy life going forward, whatever it may bring, Orla, and recover nicely. Sounds you've had hardly any time off since COVID, so you definitely need to put the feet up for a while. Orla Lillis of O'Brien's Bagel Factory in Ennis, we really appreciate you coming in this morning. Thank you.
Thanks, Ella. Thank you.